Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, welcome to Let Freedom Ring. We're jamming out Jingle Bell Rock here. We are going to come up um, with the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
of all time.
Um, we got a 32 movie bracket here. Um, Again, if you want to comment and have your comments for us to see and mention you on the show, please comment on the Let Freedom Ring Facebook page. For whatever reason, they're not showing up for my personal page. But we're going to get going. We got Anthony Brogna, Herbie Dan, Cornell here
Mm-hmm.
on the show. You guys excited for Christmas?
Comes every time this year. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
I am a November 1st Christmas season guy.
Christmas
So,
man.
yeah, my tree goes up at midnight Halloween.
You know what's funny is I feel like we're all obviously like Halloween's probably our favorite. I don't know. I might be speaking for the gang, but Christmas is a close second, right after Halloween.
Mine's the reverse, but they're close. But I love Christmas.
Christmas man. Oh yeah.
Christmas. Obviously, I'm more of a Halloween guy. And shout out to Johnny Burke. Thanks for supporting the show. Christmas falls. It's like my third favorite holiday. Halloween. No,
Mm.
4th of July. I'm sorry. Halloween.
4th of July.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm a summer guy.
Who could forget
I
about
am-
explosives?
Yeah.
I am 100% a Christmas guy. My tree is up from November 1st to January 6th. I even like Christmas music. Hey, so
It's funny you say that,
It'd be a
Dave.
great
I literally
Christmas.
just said
That's
that
what the
before
ground
we
will look
got
like
on.
this
I
year.
said, man, I should have went and grabbed my Christmas stuff, but I jumped on here late. But yeah, so yeah, for me, like Christmas season is long, and so I had been doing some side work or whatever, with my other business, and I was listening to Christmas music in there, and couple people came in and just like, oh, like you like this stuff? I'm like, I love Christmas music. Like we could do one next week where like it's a bracket for Christmas songs, because I am a Christmas music, like my windows are up and I am singing my heart out.
I do like them, but as soon as Christmas is over, I can't listen to Christmas music anymore. Like I know some people do like the day after. Once it's over, it just feels over to me.
Same.
And then Hell on Earth is January. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I hate the month of January so much, but I'm not even gonna think about that yet. We got still like 15 more days or 16 more days. Let's get into this. We're gonna find out what's the best Christmas movie of all time off this 32 bracket of movies. In the number 1 seed, we have It's a Wonderful Life. This movie, not huge when it first came out in the 1940s. I think it came out in August of that year, which makes no sense. But this movie has become a staple of Christmas. NBC shows it every Christmas Eve. They show it during the just in December as well. So we got It's a Wonderful Life going up against Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol. A movie that I enjoyed
That's a poll.
as a kid.
That's a deep poll.
That is
a deep poll.
It took me a long time.
That.
I have not seen it in many, many years, but I remember loving it as a kid. Herbie, I'll let you start us.
There's the number 1 seed for a reason, man. You're gonna have to take Wonderful Life. Mr. Magoo's, I can't. That's one where, okay, so during this list, we're going to have to separate like the nostalgia, because we're all going to have a personal relationship with all these, with like probably what represents Christmas overall. So that's what's going to be competing for me. I'm going to have to try to like keep an objective mind, even though I definitely will not be. But yeah, it's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, 1946. Like you said, it's not like a particularly amazing movie, but it's Christmas. It's like the first movie people list, like probably the first couple of movies people list as being one of their favorites,
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't all that popular when it first came out. Anthony, what are you going with here?
I'm gonna take like my personal bias outside of this, because I'll definitely be heavily into that in the next couple rounds. But I don't think Mr. Magoo should have been on here. I think there's so many
Mr.
other
Magoo gotta go.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many other movies as I was looking at this bracket that I would have much rather seen in this spot. So I'm gonna have to go with It's a Wonderful Life.
I am gonna go with It's a Wonderful Life too. Anybody that knows me knows that this is not only my favorite Christmas movie, this is my favorite movie of all time. I love it.
All time.
There's
better than Halloween.
It's my favorite movie.
Rob Zombie's Halloween,
even more than Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Better than Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
I'll tell you, there's two things. There's two movies that ever make me get choked up. It's a Wonderful Life at the end when he realizes, hey, everybody did care about me, and Field of Dreams when he asks his dad for a catch. Oh. Those are the two movies. If they get me, I can't. They're just, But so It's a Wonderful Life, the number one seed in this bracket, going up. Moving on to the next round. Next we got, and I guess this is a bit, and I Googled most of these to find out what movies are really liked by a lot of people. We got Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest, this is what John Cena's starting to look like. He's starting to look a lot like Ernest.
Little Ernesty, yeah.
Or we got Bad Santa, Billy Bob Thornton. Obviously not as a family friendly of a movie, but has become a staple of Christmas. Anthony, you can go first.
Yeah, being a father of 3, I love family Christmas movies, but there are so many of them to choose from. So, I think Bad Santa is a comedy masterpiece overall, like not even just for Christmas time. So, I gotta go Bad Santa.
Herbie?
This is tough. This is another tough one. Like my personal favorite is Ernest for sure. I think just the cultural importance of Ernest, I guess, like all of his movies, like that stuff that we grew up with that we can give our kids. It's kind of like Three Stooges. Like my dad watched that growing up and passed that on to me. But Bad Santa is really good. But I think for Christmas, it's got to be like kind of family oriented. It can be a little edgy. I'm gonna go with Ernest. I'm gonna go with it. You're gonna have to tie break on this one.
I want to be honest, and I know he did a lot of good things. Rest in peace to the actor that played Ernest. I hated Ernest as a kid.
Me too.
Never found him funny.
Really?
Never enjoyed any of the movies. Honestly, Ernest was just one of those things like Pee Wee Herman when I was a kid.
Same.
I couldn't stand Pee Wee Herman. I couldn't stand Ernest. So as much as not family oriented and you want to think Christmas, you want to think families, I'm going Bad Santa. All right, so Bad Santa.
I'm not heartbroken about these early ones.
Well, that's the thing. It's gonna get more heated and more interesting.
Yeah, there'll be more dog fights coming down the line. But we got to get through these quick seeds,
Here's another one here. We got the Santa Claus, Tim Allen. Unbelievable movie. And then we got Fred Claus. Vince Vaughn is the brother of Santa Claus. I will go first on this. This is at the peak of, I believe, Home Improvement's popularity with Tim Allen. As a kid, I absolutely loved the Santa Claus. I love the idea that you have to take over the role of Santa Claus, that it's someone different. Santa Claus dies, becomes someone else. Kind of makes it feel a little more realistic instead of this guy that just lives forever. So I'm going Santa Claus. Herbie, you go next.
I got to go Santa Claus. I almost forgot Fred Claus existed until you put it on that list. I go, oh, damn, that was a movie. Santa Claus. My personal anecdote with that movie, though, is that we had it on VHS. It was like one of 3 VHS we had for Christmas that we'd pull out. We pull out the VHS and we pull out the cassettes of all the songs, like Chipmunks and all that stuff. And I hated it for probably 10 years because it was like the one movie we watched all the time for Christmas. But then rewatching it after taking a break for many years, I was like, oh, wow, this is really good. I got to go with Santa Claus.
Anthony?
Yeah, so like Fred Claus, I think is a really solid Christmas movie. This probably would have beat both movies and the last one we just talked about for me. But I mean, for me, being what was it? It came out in '95. I mean, I was 8. Like that was still magic time for me. Like Christmas was magic. So and I was a Home Improvement fan as a kid. So I don't know what's this. This is like a year after Toy Story as well. So like he was, Tim Allen was on fire.
Speak.
And I think the movie overall is just it's this is going to go very far for me. This one, this is definitely one of my top.
Yeah, it has a deep. If this was the NCAA, it would have a deep bench for basketball.
Yeah, it's a
longevity.
Classic. It's and that's peak Tim Allen. I mean, his career kind of never really was the same after the '90s. But all right, next one we got here, the original Rudolph, where they kind of had these like I don't even know how they made these movies.
Stop motion.
Yeah, so it's
but
like
not good.
No. Or you got Bill Murray in his peak of his career here in Scrooged. Kind of a different take on A Christmas Carol here. Herbie, you're up.
This one.
Oh, wait. Did Herbie go first last time? Am I messing this up?
You went first.
All right,
pass
Anthony,
it to
you
Ant.
go first in this. You go first.
Okay.
Go to Ant.
I'm gonna keep the order in my head, and I'm gonna
make
mess
this
it up.
really easy for you guys. I'm not a huge fan of Bill Murray.
Wow.
I could drop that bomb. I'm not a huge fan overall. I think he's good. It's just he's not. It's not 100% my type of comedy. But he's legendary, and I understand that. I'm gonna go Rudolph, and not just because of Bill Murray, but because Scrooge is a take off of A Christmas Carol, and there are just so many takes off of it. And Rudolph is just the original. It is, as a kid, they played it on ABC or whatever channel plays it, and just you would wait for it every year to come on. Where like Scrooge, I don't feel like that. It doesn't feel like something I have to watch every year. Where Rudolph, I feel like I have to. And I really can't think of any other movies where like Rudolph is prominent. Like they never really followed up and had like an amazing Rudolph movie like we've seen with so many other ones. And Put One Foot in front of the other is just an awesome song. So I'm going Rudolph.
Did the Rudolph, was that a song before they did the movie, or did the movie song come out around the same time? Does anybody know that?
What, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Yeah. Is that inspired off the movie?
I don't know. That's
I think it's the reverse. I'm gonna look that up while you guys are talking.
Yeah. If anybody wants
Rudolph even exists because all the other reindeer, Dancer, Prancer, they don't name Rudolph in that song.
Yeah.
The other song.
Also, if you do want to comment as we are live, make sure you're doing it on Let Freedom Ring page. Herbie, I'll let you take this one.
I gotta agree with Ant. Rudolph, Scrooge is good. It's one of those you can watch it once and get the concept and go, okay, yeah, it's a creative, fun way to do the Christmas Carol. But Ant touched on a important point that these are nostalgia pieces that you ritually watch. You bring them out and you put them on with the family and stuff, and it reminds you of different times. So definitely Rudolph.
I'm not going to disagree there. I don't have to watch. I'll probably watch Scrooged every 5 years. It's not a staple of every year. It's not on. I'm pretty sure Rudolph is on cable TV every year.
24/7, probably.
Yeah.
Starting with, right after Halloween.
All right, our next matchup here, we got Jack Frost, Michael Keaton edition. Anything Michael Keaton is
not
gold.
This Jack Frost behind me. That came out 1 year before, though. So.
Hold on, real quick before you say that, I wanted to check out my research. So, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song came out in 1949. The movie came out in 1964.
Oh wow! So
okay.
there's a big enough gap there that's inspired off of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Someone probably got really high and was like, "What if there was a red-nosed reindeer?"
Yeah,
wouldn't that be wild? We got Jack Frost going up against Surviving Christmas, James Gandolfini, the GOAT, and Ben Affleck. Christina Applegate, and the mom from Home Alone. Never know that actress's name for some reason.
Maura from Schitt's Creek.
She's in everything. She's in like Best of Show and
Tons of stuff. Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
She's in
Beetlejuice. Yeah.
She's in a commercial now about Home Alone where someone gets lost in the store. I don't know her name. I should know it. She's in everything. But so Jack Frost, Surviving Christmas. I'm gonna go first. And I think everybody knows where I'm going with this. Surviving Christmas. I know that the reviews on this were really poor. Ben Affleck is not like great Ben Affleck, but give me James Gandolfini all day long. This is a movie I have to watch every year. And I enjoy, and I think I saw it in theaters when it came out. Let's see who led off last time, Anthony. So Herbie, you go next.
I gotta go Jack Frost. The message of it, even though it's not this Jack Frost, which was 1 year before and is about a serial killer snowman who was a man before. But I just like Michael Keaton. I like, again, the family friendliness of it is pretty critical. Plus, it's like a good Frosty movie. You get a couple of those on the list, so it'll be interesting if they square off. But I gotta go Jack Frost.
All right, Anthony, you're a tiebreaker here.
So I was kind of hoping that you guys wouldn't tie because I would like these both to lose.
Just make it lose later.
But
someone's got to move on.
Well, I will choose Jack Frost.
Damn.
The reason being, Surviving Christmas is
sucks.
Not a good movie. It's just
sucks, Dan.
It's just not good. But
I love it.
Michael Keaton is one of the goats. Michael Keaton's great. So, movie. I
mean renting out a family isn't entertaining.
I don't think I liked. It's not a good movie. I've watched Surviving Christmas more than one time. Mine is mostly just based on Michael Keaton and it being a family movie. But I remember hating it as a kid because of just like the dad dying kind of thing. Like it just, I don't like that kind of stuff for Christmas. Like I want to pull on the heartstrings, but I want to pull on it with.
You don't want to break the heartstring.
Yeah, exactly. That's not pulling on heartstrings. Like you're literally breaking my heart, killing a dad to open up a movie. So, but I will choose it because of the family friendly, family friendly atmosphere of it, and the fact that it's Michael Keaton. Although Michael Keaton's best Christmas movie is Batman 2. Batman.
Oh yeah, that is a tangential Christmas.
That is a Christmas movie. It's not on your list, but it is a Christmas movie.
Dan, are we done with the left side of the bracket?
No, we got a few more here.
Okay. I wanted to put an honorable mention I didn't see later, but maybe we'll do that later.
Definitely honorable mentions at some point.
Yeah.
There's something behind. I don't watch a lot of Netflix, and apparently there's some Christmas movies there. But we got the Grinch, 1966.
The OG.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Great soundtrack.
Yeah, sung by Darth Vader.
Is it? Is that
James Earl Jones does that?
I'm pretty sure it's James Earl Jones, right, guys? Come on now.
I
was
did
he
not
big in
know
'66?
Did that change? Does that change everyone's perspective? Yeah, he's been acting forever.
I mean, yeah, that does sound like him.
Yeah, James Earl Jones. Yep.
Wow. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
So just learned something. So if you do tune into the show, you may learn something pop culture you didn't know. Or we got Christmas with the Cranks. Tim Allen returns. Jamie Lee Curtis, the Scream Queen herself. Got Dan Aykroyd in there as well. I think, Herbie, you're the starter here.
I got to go classic Grinch. For me, Santa Claus is the Tim Allen movie. You know what I mean? If you were to say, oh, I'm putting on a Tim Allen Christmas movie, 97 people out of 100 would say, oh, Santa Claus. It wouldn't say Christmas with the Cranks. Maybe us three would say, oh, do you have Christmas with the Cranks? But yeah, I got to go OG Grinch. That's just so classic.
Anthony, you're up.
Yeah, super easy pick for me. I actually watched Christmas with the Cranks yesterday with the kids. I think it's a really good movie. I think if we put it against some of these other Ernest and Mr. Magoo, I think it easily goes past those. But I have to obviously go with the OG. That Grinch, if you take that time period of Rudolph, Santa Claus coming to town, the Grinch, all those, like the Grinch is my favorite out of that like early 60s genre of Christmas movies, and it's one of my favorite Christmas songs. It's just, and now that I know that James Earl Jones sings it, is just like
it's even better.
That like makes it even better.
It's
what
amazing.
What can't that man do?
The Grinch, for sure.
I'm also gonna go with the Grinch. I do feel like Tim Allen was put into the Christmas with the Crank, because I feel like this is like a decade later, right? That he's doing this movie. I feel like it was like, oh, maybe we can get some of that, that nostalgia from him being in those other movies. So let's put him in there. And you know what? Jamie Lee Curtis, let's get her. And let's throw Dan Aykroyd in there, sprinkled in there too. Not a bad movie. Not a great movie. I enjoyed it watching it, but obviously does not have the power of Grinch 66, and it doesn't have the great soundtrack that it has. And
James Earl Jones does not sing the theme song to Christmas with the Crank.
Yes,
no.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I guess look, now that hearing it in my head right now, I go, yeah, I guess that is him. That's like, pretty unbelievable.
The voice of the Grinch though is Boris Karloff, the one and only Frankenstein, the Mummy, all those in the 40s. Wow. Pretty wild. Yeah. There you go. It's a tangential Halloween movie.
I mean, how old is James Earl Jones at that point? Like, he's got to be 30s.
Yeah, probably.
I think he was born in the 30s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Wow, that's crazy to think about. All right.
When do you think he established that voice? You're like 13. You think he was like 13 in school, and he was like
just mastering that
that wicked deep voice?
You could put him anywhere for that voice has just always worked.
He might be, if I had to have my life narrated, he's definitely in that top tier.
I will say one of the funniest things that I thought he ever did. The last Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, I was laughing when Vader goes, no, like I started laughing uncontrollable because we would never hear Vader do that. No. And it's still funny to me to this day. All right, we're gonna go. Another Grinch is on here. We got Grinch 2018. And then we got a lot of people's favorites. We got Home Alone, Joe Pesci in this. What's the other guy's name?
Daniel Stern.
Stern, and his brothers in some movies too. I'll go first on this. I took my nephew to see Grinch 2018. And they didn't sing the song. It wasn't in it. You're a mean one. It wasn't part of it. And I was like, man, I was really disappointed in that they didn't do that. So I cannot vote for that. I thought it was okay. Nothing great. Definitely going Home Alone here. Anthony, you can go next.
Yeah, I actually like this Grinch movie a lot. Watching it with the kids. I think it's the same. Is it the same group that does like Despicable Me and stuff? I think
it has to be. So. Looks just like it.
Yeah. I can't remember the studio, but I like it, but I mean, Home Alone is. I watch Home Alone probably if my Christmas runs from like November 1st to January 6th. I probably watch Home Alone a good 5 times. Wholeheartedly, like 5 times during Christmas season. Whether it's I probably turn it on and watch it all the way through, like once or twice, definitely once or twice. And then the other times just catching it on when it's on TV, and I'll always leave it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so good.
Just fast forwarding to all the physical gags. Like when you're a kid, like get past the boring stuff. Easily Home Alone. Home Alone's probably gonna go fairly deep for me.
You know what's crazy?
Good.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, you watch that and you see Joe Pesci be like this clown that's getting,
Mm-hmm.
and then as you get older, you see Joe Pesci in Goodfellas and Casino and all these other movies. Like, man, it's crazy things. The same guy,
So like what's awesome about that, because they did one of those Netflix specials on it, like where they go behind the scenes, they talk about it, and like the fact
Yeah,
that
I
it's a
saw
John Hughes production, even though he didn't direct it, it's still like John Hughes is so legendary. And then a couple like really cool things like about that was like you mentioned Joe Pesci, and they said like when he's doing all that like gibberish when he's getting hurt, like that's him swearing basically. It's like he didn't want to swear, but he still wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's his
Keep it
swearing.
PG.
But I actually what really interested me in the whole thing was they said they built the house inside of an Olympic sized swimming pool to do the flood scene at the end where he goes down, he's running through the water and he comes up and they're there waiting for him. And they built the whole house inside there. And then of course the famous meme that always says, what does Kevin's dad do for a living? So I mean, do you guys have any clue how he can afford this house?
He worked for Tony Soprano. He was a bad cop.
Yeah, he's a bad cop. He must be high up there. Yeah, to have 9 people go to France round trip.
But his brother paid for that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
His brother that's in New York.
I think they're all like big, the big money guys.
But they all got money. It seemed like that whole family got money. That house is.
It's $1 million home, at least.
The difference of those two movies, and obviously we're going to get into Home Alone 2 in a little bit, but I think Kevin's evolution, but like he's a whole different character in part 2 than he is in part 1. Like watching part 1 back, I'm really shocked at how much of a little badass he is. Like calling his mom dummy, and like I know he's picked on, and Uncle Frank is aside from
jerk.
Aside from Jenny from Forrest Gump,
you little jerk.
So aside from Jenny from Forrest Gump, I think Uncle Frank might be one of the greatest movie villains of all time. He is. I hate him. I hate him. I actually had a conversation with my kids. I was like, believe me, no one in our family will ever speak to you the way Uncle Frank speaks to Kevin. That's just how do you let someone in your family talk to your child like that?
You can't. Even when I want to strangle my.
I'm sorry, guys. I could talk Home Alone all night. It's up there.
All right, we're gonna get to the last one in this side of the bracket. We have 4 Christmases. The return of Vince Vaughn here into the bracket.
You're just really trying to force Vince Vaughn on us.
I'm more shocked that he's, or the Muppets Christmas Carol. I know where I fall on this immediately. But I won't start. Who started last time?
I think I did last time. So
All right, Anthony, you can start this one.
Another bracket where I would love to give out 2 L's.
Whoa!
But I can't. But I can't. I kind of said it with Scrooge. Like I'm not a huge fan of all these Christmas Carol remakes. Actually, my favorite Christmas Carol might be that animation one with Jim Carrey. I think that one was probably like that was phenomenal. But other than that, you just maybe I'm just so sick of the story that I can't go back and watch it. Like it just doesn't do it for me. So 4 Christmases being like a PG-13, like I can't watch it with the family. My kids don't care about Muppets, so I'm really torn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna defer and see what you guys come up with. And if you guys can agree, then we're good. If you guys are on opposite sides, then I'll have to flip a coin and tie break for you.
Yeah.
Herbie, do you want to go first or?
Yeah, I got a fond memory of Muppets where, so in 4th grade, we did a Christmas Carol play, and I wanted so bad to be Scrooge, and I practiced my deep voice stuff, but I was beat up by a girl. I'll never forget all of it. But the example, so in order to like understand the play that we were going to be doing, we watched Muppets Christmas Carol, and they're like, yeah, it's basically what we're going to be doing, minus all the singing and stuff. I did get the ghost that warns him. I always forget his name. His friend there with the chains.
Marley.
Yeah,
Oh,
Marley.
yeah. Well, the Marley and Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad gave me the chains. They were like these old rusty ones. I remember them staining my clothes for good ghoulish effect. But yeah, it's got to be Muppets.
This is not hard for me whatsoever. I freaking love the Muppets Christmas Carol. And Tiny Tim, who did not die, I loved it. It came out in 1994. You had what's his name, Michael Caine is in the movie as well.
Yeah.
That goes very underrated. He gives a great performance working with Muppets. And I just always loved the Muppets as a kid. Period. Like I didn't like any of the stuff like later, but
I like
this
the Muppet Babies.
I did watch that. I remember watching that as a kid. But no, I love the Muppets Christmas Carol. This is a movie I have to watch every single Christmas. They're just all so good. Like, Gonzo and the Rat narrating the whole thing. Like, it's a staple of my Christmas movies that I have to watch. I own it, So Muppets are moving on. We're going to get to the other side of the bracket. Herbie, was there something you wanted to say at the end of this, or?
We had honorable mentions. I don't know when we'll fit them in. We could put them in here as we're transitioning, or wait on them.
You want to wait till we could wait till the first round's done.
All right.
Want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do a first round intermission.
Yeah, I agree. After the first round's done.
All right, here's one that I gave a high seed to. Obviously, it's played everywhere. It's A Christmas Story. You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid. Ralphie there. Or we have a newer movie that I guess a lot of people like because it was on a lot of different sites here. Office Christmas Party. Is it my turn to start? I think it is.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I hate both of these movies. I do not like A Christmas Story. I think I sort of liked it as a kid, but it's just so I do like when he beats up the redheaded kid. Like that's kind of cool because he finally stands up. But as a whole, I can't watch this movie anymore. But Office Christmas Party is just straight up doesn't need to exist. So I'm gonna go Christmas Story. Anthony, you go next.
I was so worried when I saw this matchup because I've had intense arguments with so many people with the fact that I don't like A Christmas Story. I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through in one sit down. I've always seen it in pieces. I tried to watch it with the kids last year and I fell asleep during it. Maybe it's the time. Maybe it's the fact that I wasn't young enough. I don't know. But yeah, I compared like what I grew up with the Home Alones and the Santa Clauses and those, I think were just
more action.
Yeah, they were just built for more entertainment. Where I feel like A Christmas Story is long and drawn out, and there's some good stuff in it, right? Like Tongue on the Pole and whatever, just Fred Gile and.
Oh, that is
you get like a couple, like the fudge, like so it's like you have like it has moments, but to watch the whole thing through, I can't. Now, Office Christmas Party, I think I've been pretty clear with being a father of 3. I'm not a huge fan of like adult Christmas movies. However, when they go to bed and I can watch like a good Christmas comedy with the wife during this time of the year, I'll take it. So I'll have to go Office Christmas Party.
Oh, Herbie, you got a big breaker here.
Office Christmas Party. I do have to go Christmas Story. I'm also like Ant too, where I didn't like it for the longest time. Because I think I saw it in bits and bobs, but when I sat down and watched the whole thing, I was like, okay, this is a good story. I can appreciate it. It's not my personal favorite, but so many people love that damn movie.
I think my opinion is just based on replay value for myself. Like I said, I think it has great moments, but I think we've said this on like other shows that we've done where like replay value goes a long way for me, and I feel like I can go throw on Office Christmas Party and just lay in bed and watch it with the wife tonight. Maybe not even watch the whole thing, but like I couldn't sit through a Christmas Story right now, like not even 30 minutes of it.
And they play it all day on TNT.
Yeah.
It's just
actually I'm nearly positive it's Brian Malonis' favorite Christmas movie. And I think I've argued with him about it because I still think it's atrocious.
Yeah. Brian Malonis New England pro wrestler, Herbie. Just so you know who that is. Honestly, I think when I was a kid, I just felt like I was supposed to like it because it was on so much. I think my dad liked it, but looking, as I get older, I was like, man, I hate this movie. Like, I hate it. It's too negative for me. It's not what I want out of Christmas.
Talking about Office Christmas Party, or are you talking
about Christmas Story? I just don't. I'll put it over Office Christmas Party. I've only watched that movie once and was like, I don't know if I need to see this again. So I'll put Christmas Story just because I think most people would, but I don't know if it's going to last too long in this bracket because we got some other stuff coming up here. We got Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase,
what
Randy
an interesting
Quaid.
Poster you found.
Yeah, I thought this was really cool. This is like
looks like he's holding on to an intestine. Randy Quaid,
yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
We got that going against the Polar Express, Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow! You really put two,
that
number
makes
one,
no
number two
sense.
seed.
That makes no sense.
Dan put all these like David and Goliaths on the left side, and then all these like very close matchups.
Doing the seeding is not easy. Let me just say that. But I think this matchup is super easy. But that's just me. I'll let Anthony start on this one.
So I just had this conversation with my oldest son yesterday, where Polar Express is his favorite Christmas movie. I didn't realize that. I think it's such a good Christmas movie, and that's why I'm mad at this matchup, because Christmas Vacation is just, that's top tier. I could fight that as close to my number one favorite. So, and it's actually my favorite out of the National Lampoons, I think.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the vacation movies, it's my favorite. So, it's hilarious. Like, I have to go with it.
Herbie, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Ant. I think super important Polar Express. I wish we could have carried it a little further. Because they even do, a thing here in New Hampshire up in Conway where they'll like remake the movie on the Conway Scenic Railway. But I'm like Ant. I have a lot of fond memories of Christmas Vacation, and for me, it's a movie about like the whole month of December is very Christmassy, and not just about the day or something like that. And it's Christmas Carol is kind of like that too, but it's about the quirkiness and like the weird traditions your families have, and it just kind of reminds you all that stuff. And I have to select it because it is one of my top favorites personally. This is where my subjective side comes in.
So you're going, what are you going with?
Going Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, me too.
And it is Chevy's top best movie.
I don't care for Polar Express. I thought it was boring. I guess when I'm making the bracket, that's why I had it as a low seed. So I'm surprised to hear people. I'm surprised anybody's saying that's their favorite. I guess you put Tom Hanks. I don't know, just not something that I guess moved the dial with me, and I seeded it. So Polar Express, you're out of here. Here's the highly debated, and I threw this in just because it is so highly debated. We got Die Hard. There's a Christmas tree right there.
Yeah. Tangential Christmas movie. Yeah.
And we have, which could be Christmas or Halloween, depending on how you look at it, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Timothy Burton. Herbie, start us up.
I think in terms of actually being about Christmas, I'd have to do Nightmare Before Christmas. I like Die Hard as a movie, but it's a little too tangential of a Christmas movie. I think if you were to poll specifically adults, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, Die Hard's like such a cool movie. That's way up there." But I'm trying to think of like holistically, what's a good Christmas movie, and I can't go Die Hard.
Yeah, I'll go next here. I never really cared for Die Hard as a Christmas movie or as a movie in general. I'm just doesn't. The only thing that it does for me, I believe that's the introduction of Carl Winslow as an actor. I believe he's in that movie and he's a cop. Other than
that was
that,
actually
though,
James Earl Jones.
Yeah. Other than that, Die Hard never really did anything much for me. I guess I'm just not that big on Bruce Willis. I don't know why, but so I'm going Nightmare. Anthony?
So I think Die Hard's a phenomenal movie. It's it's definitely a favorite of mine, something I always stop on. But and I do argue with people all the time that this is a Christmas movie, but I do it out of just poking fun. Like it takes place during Christmas, but so if that is the criteria, then like so is Ghostbusters 2 and Lethal Weapon and Gremlins, right? Like these would all be considered Christmas movies.
Gremlins was on a lot of lists for being a Christmas movie too.
Yeah. So it's just again like if it takes place during Christmas, like you can categorize it, but if the central theme isn't wrapped around Christmas, then it's not a Christmas movie to me. So as a movie, I would choose Die Hard over A Nightmare as a movie. Like if I was just picking movies, but I'll take The Nightmare Before Christmas because it's a Christmas movie.
All right. So next one we have here, The Grinch 2000. Not a cartoon this time. We got Jim Carrey, and we're going up against Frosty the Snowman. I'm gonna start this. I guess I have a lot of strong opinions on some of this. Never cared for Jim Carrey as the Grinch. Just wasn't for me. I didn't like seeing the Grinch like that. I like seeing the Grinch as a cartoon. I love Frosty. I love that cartoon. I wish that he didn't melt. I'm on Frosty. Ant, you can go next.
This is another one of those matchups that I hate. I hate that they're matched up with each other. I think Jim Carrey is amazing in everything he does. I don't think he can do anything wrong. The fact that like he pulls the tablecloth and actually he did that by accident. So like I don't know if you know that story, Dan, but like so in the scene where like he pulls the tablecloth and everything stays on the table and then he pushes it all off, that was never planned. He was supposed to pull the tablecloth and everything came off with it. And he actually pulled the tablecloth and everything stayed on the table still. So he went and pushed it. He just improvised and pushed it all off.
He's golden with improvising.
No, he's just genius. And I thought it was a solid take on the movie, being a live action movie. But I have to go Frosty because it's classic. And as a child, I cried when Frosty melted. And it's emotional moments. I can't remember when I watched The Grinch. Like I don't remember the time, but I can remember specifically being a very young child and like crying at the end of Frosty. Like it definitely it left an impact on me. So I got to go Frosty. It's classic.
Yeah, Grinch gets an honorable mention. It is a great movie. I think it will be, if you were to ask this question 20 years from now, people may say like, oh, that that is a classic. That's the Christmas Vacation for our kids growing up and stuff. So, but for us, it's definitely Frosty. It's gonna be Frosty.
You gotta go. Yeah. Frosty, unbelievable. All right, now we got a movie that I saw in theaters. There was a absolute blizzard in '96, and I specifically remember Jingle All the Way because we had no power. So my parents were like, "We're gonna go to the movie theaters because we can't do anything else." I think I was in 6th grade at the time, so that's the first time I saw Jingle All the Way. Or we have Miracle on 34th Street with Matilda, or whatever her name is. I think this is the 1994 edition.
Yes.
Who we starting? Who went last? Herbie?
Yes. Yeah, I can go first. I remember seeing all the advertisements for Miracle on 34th, but it's because when I shared the bracket today with my wife and some of my teammates, they're like, well, what Miracle on 34th Street was it? Because he didn't write the year for it.
Oh, you're right. I did not. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a good point. Does it matter? Because they're all so similar. Like they don't really redo it. Like, Grinch 2000 Grinch versus the 1960s cartoon was obviously two very different movies. So, so I don't know. Hold on. Give me both movie posters one more time.
All right, we got
this might make
Jingle
my
All the Way.
solid Christmas movie poster.
Matilda and Santa Claus, Miracle on 34th Street.
I can't believe I have to choose between these two. I
that
love
kid
Arnold
just
too.
annoyed me. I'm sorry. That guy never was a fan of her.
Arnold is so great, and I think he kind of like that movie and kept for us like moving forward that like whole new wave of like you got to get these toys and like the hyper consumerism and all that
Sinbad.
stuff. If you really look into it, yeah, I love Arnold and Turbo Man. It's the hottest toy of the year, so I gotta go Jingle All the Way.
Anthony, what do you got?
Fun fact: Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator is tattooed on my back. So for me to vote against Arnold is blasphemy. But I like the movie. It's actually probably one of my more favorite Arnold movies. Like I think it's just really good and family friendly, and it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's like a like a
Phil Hartman too. I'm forgetting that he's in it.
Phil Hartman's in it. Yep. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's up there for like those 90s Christmas classics.
Yep.
I'm gonna agree. I don't care what 34th Miracle on 34th. I'm not a fan of any of them. Yeah, Matilda, I thought that kid was annoying. I'm sure she's doing great as an adult now. Thought she was an annoying kid that if she was in my class in elementary school, I wouldn't have liked her. So I can't ever vote for that movie. So we're going Jingle All the Way. All the way.
Jingle
here.
all
I
the
like
way.
that. All right. Next up here we have Tim Allen is back with his third appearance in the bracket. Santa Claus 2.
I wish you had every Santa Claus on here. That would have made me laugh.
Is he the GOAT Christmas actor?
He's got to be up there. I mean,
got
you can't
quite a few.
No one else I can think of has.
I mean, there's someone you left off that played Santa Claus twice, which we'll get to in the honorable mention. That was pretty good too. He could be up there.
I mean, Vince Vaughn hasn't won a matchup yet, so,
yeah,
but he hasn't won a matchup. Yeah. So
no, it's true.
Or we got Charlie Brown Christmas
on Apple TV. Yeah.
Okay, I am sucking at the order tonight. I think it's Anthony. You're up.
Charlie Brown Christmas. I remember watching like very young, and I don't know if it's going to be a shocker for people, but I think based on my era, with the way that Santa Claus, the first one ended, I was dying for that sequel. And I think the sequel's awesome. So I'm going to go Santa Claus 2.
All right. I'm going Charlie Brown. I feel like that's just like, you got to have it in there. They find that little tiny tree. Even now, that's a big thing. I mean, I'm a single. Yeah, I'm a single guy. I put up a tree every year that's only about yay big, and everybody makes fun of it. And I'm very proud of it. And everybody's like, "Oh, there's Dan's Charlie Brown tree again." This
you can actually buy the Charlie Brown tree now too.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so people sell it. Yeah,
little white pine tree.
I love Charlie Brown. So Herbie, you're gonna have to be a tiebreaker here.
I think for the sake of the boomers, we do have to have something older get past the first round. So I'm gonna say Charlie Brown, and probably
biased here so much.
Yeah, and probably strictly like you said, Dan, for the sake of like anytime you get a tree that is slightly sparse, and I get like a lot of natural ones every year. People always call it a Charlie Brown tree. There's no creativity, you know. Like that is the thing. It's like when you know, you get your car stuck in a small spot and you have to go back and forth. You're like, oh, that's Austin Powers. You know, you're doing an Austin Powers. You know, so it's just like it's part of the lexicon now. So you got to have it at least go to round 2.
Yeah, I like my small little tree. If I ever had kids, I would actually go out and like get the real thing.
Yeah.
You know, but if it's just me, I don't care. Like,
yeah, why bother?
All right, next up we got Home Alone 2. They're coming for him yet again in New York.
New York.
Or we got, this is going to be another debatable, is it really a Christmas movie? We got Friday After Next. You got Terry Crews in this movie. Obviously.
Is that Cat Williams?
Cat Williams, Mike Epps, Ice Cube. The father, what's his name? He recently
John Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon. I know this got really low reviews, but I did see this in theaters, and it was like me and just like one of my high school buddies. And I'm gonna go first on this. I love Friday After Next, and I don't know. I did like, yeah, I'm going Friday. We're going Friday. As much as I like the Bird Lady, and Home Alone 2, I'm going Friday After Next. Just because I think I saw it in theaters and was like, Mike Epps was talking about some things like, I'm not gonna, I guess I shouldn't say on there, but Mike Epps had me laughing the whole time. That was perfect for a high school kid. Let me see. I guess Herbie, you can go next.
I gotta go Home Alone 2. Again, another nostalgia factor where like I would watch that one more because the traps were better. I remember I was like, he gets better at his booby traps. So I gotta go Home Alone 2.
Anthony, you're the tiebreaker here.
Friday After Next is the worst movie in the franchise.
I'm not going to debate
just
that.
The franchise.
And if you wanted to do a Christmas movie,
look at this cast. Look at this cast. Come on.
We'll have to do a Friday ranking.
If you want to do a Christmas movie for the culture, I feel like The Best Man Holiday would resonate really well, as it's a very touching movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. But I like Home Alone 2 better than Home Alone 1. So this is a
Whoa.
Wow.
Now.
I do. I'm giving it up.
Fighting.
My son is looking at me funny. Why don't you like what? Are you crazy? He got the uncle's house. He could do whatever he wants in it.
Yeah.
I love it. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal, and a Happy New Year.
Christmas, you filthy animal.
I like it.
Yeah. The Talk Boy. Did you have a Talk Boy, Aunt?
I didn't. I couldn't afford one as a kid. It was on my Christmas list. For like
we got
years.
one, and I about pooped my pants when I opened it because I was like, "Did we get rich?"
We got a Donald Trump cameo in that movie.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's an easy win. It's a win.
Before we knew, like, I always knew he was a dirtbag.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like how big of a dirtbag he was until he ran for president.
No, I mean he gave him directions to the front desk. I mean he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. I mean, that's how he got the presidency. If he's not in that movie, Make America Great Again, that doesn't work.
You know, Herbert Hoover was on this floor. You know, the vacuum guy?
Yeah, Herbert Hoover, yeah.
Herbert Hoover, the vacuum guy.
All right, last one on this side of the bracket. I threw this in as just a holiday movie. Obviously, it's not a Christmas movie. It's more of a Hanukkah movie. But there's not a lot of Hanukkah movies, so I figured this deserves it. Adam Sandler, 8 Crazy Nights, which great cartoon. Going up against another highly seeded movie, Elf with Will Ferrell, James Caan. Herbie?
Ant goes first.
Oh, Ant, you're up.
It's a landslide, and it's Elf. Like,
landslide, 8 Crazy Nights.
It's it's not even close. Elf is just, it's at the top of the top. They actually have a special on Netflix about Elf that just came out this year, I believe, that I was watching, where he talks about, and I mean, you got James Caan in the movie, first of all, like, and they talk about, they talk about how he was actually pissed off at Will Ferrell, like during the tickle fight, because they weren't supposed to do it, and Will Ferrell just kept doing it, and like when he keeps telling him like, "Good night, go to sleep, good night," like he was actually trying to cut the scene because he was so pissed off, and Will Ferrell wouldn't stop, and he just kept saying like, "Good night, love you." But just like, good stuff. But I mean, James Caan's super legendary, and I'm like, and Ian, just to put this out there, and I've argued with people about this too, I'm not a Will Ferrell fan.
Really?
But I'm not at all. But this is where I like him. Like I thoroughly enjoy him here.
Will Ferrell did wear on me over the years. Like I thought he was so funny.
Repetitive.
Yeah, and they was making all these sports movies, and This is at the prime of he left SNL in 2002. So this is at like the prime because this comes out in 2003 where he starts just just busting out movies. You know, Anchorman came out the next year and he was hot for a while. He
I
cooled
think
down.
he had just did Old School right before this.
I think Old School, yeah.
And I
came
think
out
they were
earlier in the
nervous
year.
about putting him in a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Frank the Tank now is Elf.
Yeah, I think they were nervous about that because I think they already had it planned. From I think what I watched was they already had the movie, they already had Elf planned and him signed on, and then Old School came out and they got really, really nervous about it.
Well, Old School came out in like May of that year.
Yeah.
So he already filmed it, and then I think they must have already filmed this. So they must have worried about how, you know, his raunchiness in that movie. But I also don't think that Old School is like overly offensive or like overly raunchy.
It's a John Favreau movie too.
Yeah. I mean, it is fun. Hey, I'm here for the gangbang. I remember that, like in Old School. But
first line,
and that's Todd Phillips who's directing it. Yeah, Elf, no brainer for me. Herbie,
Elf, yeah.
All right,
you already said it. It's classic.
All right, we're through round one. I know you guys want to throw out some honorable mentions because it's gonna go a little quicker now. And we got through those. So
yeah, honorable mentions. Ant already mentioned this one, Gremlins. I feel like it's more about Christmas than the movie lets on to be. About like you get a gift and it's a special gift and that gift kind of goes awry.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people like they're taking like a Gremlins action or whatever the Gremlins become before. What I forget. Gizmo.
Mogwai?
Gizmo.
Yeah.
And
they're
Mogwai.
They weren't Gizmos. That was his name.
Yeah, that was the but you know what I mean, whatever they're called. And they're showing an elf. They're showing the elf on the shelf trying to dump water onto one of those things to make it a gremlin, which I thought was pretty creative. Just me.
They only turn into gremlins if they eat after midnight. But isn't it always after midnight, Dan? Think about it. When is it ever before midnight?
Yeah, that's true.
Gremlins. Oh, and then this is one. I don't know if you guys remember this movie. I love this movie. The Ref. Dennis Leary, Kevin Spacey. Takes place on Christmas Eve. He's like a burglar, and he breaks into these people's homes, and they're having like Christmas dinner, and they're in the middle of a divorce and stuff. It's really good. If you've never seen The Ref, it's a great like tangential Christmas movie.
I got a couple of them for you. So there's definitely a good amount of rom-coms for Christmas. So I'll save those because you can really go through a lot of rom-coms. So one that's sneakily good that I hadn't seen in well over a decade, I watched this year with my kids, was Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito. And I think it's super solid Christmas movie. And I think it gets completely overlooked because I don't know, there wasn't success or what. But I really enjoyed that. And then I think what is going to be considered a classic, and I've already had words with Dan about this, both the Christmas Chronicle movies that are on Netflix where Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus. I think those in 20 years are going to be very high-level Christmas movies. I think my kids are going to view this like we view Tim Allen's Santa Claus. I truly believe that. I think they're of that quality. And then another, there's a Netflix cartoon one called Claus, which was also pretty good, like for a cartoon. But out of everything, I think a travesty that we do not have the Christmas Chronicles, at least the first one, where Kurt Russell playing an amazing Santa Claus.
I think part of the problem is you're right. In 20 years, like Netflix is pretty big right now, and people are more moving to that. But like that debuted on Netflix. That was never in theaters or anything like that, right?
I think it might have been from when it came out. But yeah, I mean, Netflix really owns those rights, right? Like there's movies that definitely should be in theaters that just are on Netflix because of who Netflix is. So I think it's also like us showing our age where we're like, well, if it's not in the theaters, it doesn't make it a B movie. It's an A movie. You know, if Netflix didn't do it and Universal did it or Disney did it, it would have been in the movies. Right. So it's almost like saying some of the Disney Plus movies that go straight, like the new cartoons they've been doing, go straight to Disney Plus. Yeah. And we would say like we would take something away from them because they didn't go to the theaters. I think it's just it's the generation and the way things are going. Like I don't look at it like a sci-fi channel horror movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not Sharknado. It's not the Sharknado of
Not that
Christmas
bad.
movies.
No.
It is a very good, high quality Christmas movie. Good, like big budget, like competes with a lot of the big movies.
I think a lot of things are going to change, though. Like these lists will be different in 20 years because the next generation is growing up on streaming. And I hate to say it, it's only a matter of time before I think movie theaters aren't even really a thing anymore. Could have almost killed everything during the pandemic. You know, how many theaters went out of business. So I don't think of those, you know.
What year did the Jim Carrey Grinch come out?
2000.
Okay. So Elf came out in 2003, right?
Yes.
I personally don't think, I'm looking up Christmas Chronicles right now. Christmas Chronicles came out in 2018. Over the course of that 15 years, because Elf is a classic, it was an instant classic immediately. Jon Favreau wanted to build a family movie. I don't think over the course of that 15 years, there was another big family-oriented movie until Christmas Chronicles. So when I watched it, I felt like, I was like, wow, this is in the same vein as those movies. It's like they built it that way. They wanted one of those type of Christmas movies because I can't think of any other. And
the oldest movie on this list is 2003.
Oldest?
I think Bad Santa came out there.
Most recent, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, most recent.
Yeah. So, and I don't think anything else came after that until this recent. You know, Kurt Russell being a Santa Claus. That's why I truly believe in it. If you haven't seen it, or anyone hasn't seen it, like get on Netflix, borrow someone's account if you have to. But watch both of those. They're really, really solid Christmas movies.
No, I definitely do want to see that because obviously his wife Goldie Hawn is in the movie too. From what
and she plays Mrs. Claus. It's awesome.
Yeah. So they're having a resurgence from the 80s here. So now they're old enough to be probably older than what you think of Santa.
Mr. and Mrs. Claus, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to the next round here. We got It's a Wonderful Life, #1 seed here, going up against Bad Santa. And I think I'm going to start this. Everybody knows where I stand. I don't really have to explain. It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite movie, period. So going It's a Wonderful Life. Anthony.
It's a Wonderful Life sucks.
Love it. I love everything about it.
I hate it. And again, it goes back to like this heartbreaking stuff. Like it's like, I hate that it's going against Bad Santa because I really am a family friendly, movie guy, but I'm just going to pick Bad Santa because I would never watch It's a Wonderful Life again.
See, I went to school to be a history teacher. Like that was like what I started my career with. So I loved like black and any movies from that time period. Like I was obsessed with Humphrey Bogart for a long, long time. And obviously James, I love that. I love the black and white movies.
Yeah. I like A Streetcar Named Desire, but It's a Wonderful Life is not
I love everything. I have to watch it on Christmas Eve every year. But Herbie, this is really important.
Does it make you cry?
The ending always gets me.
This doesn't make me feel good. I want to feel good.
It's happy. Look, what do you mean? His life was worth everything. He affected all these different people. He's gonna go to jail and they get all the money for him. He realizes, I guess everybody did care about me. That's like, come on.
I don't want to deal with that lead up to find that out.
Yeah. It's a Wonderful Life is one of those movies that whenever you watch a Christmas movie and it's Christmas time, what they're always watching is It's a Wonderful Life, right? It's always on in the background. It's like what would I enjoy more? I would enjoy Bad Santa more. But what do I recognize as like more culturally important is It's a Wonderful Life. But in 20 years, people may not give a damn about it anymore.
Well, it's gonna be 100 years old at that point.
It's gonna be wicked old, yeah.
It'll
be 100 years old. I gotta do Wonderful Life.
I mean, right now, anyone younger than 30 probably can give two poops about It's a Wonderful Life.
I just think it's like a masterpiece of a film.
It is. So again, like I'm gonna be like I'm always trying to be very open with these things we do, and It is just straight biased on what I would prefer to watch. I recognize what is the best movie here, what is the better quality movie, what means more to the holidays, 100%. But I'm going to base this on, if I go upstairs right now to watch a movie, it's not going to be that.
Understandable.
Nope,
but
it's gonna
my
be
thing
8
is
crazy nights.
It's going to be 8 crazy nights by a landslide.
But I will be clear. I have to watch it on Christmas Eve. Like I have to do it that night. Like I can't. Like I'll watch it. I've watched it other times where it wasn't, but like I don't know. There's something about it because it takes place on Christmas Eve. You know. All right. So we got the Santa Claus, Tim Allen, who we think might be the GOAT of Christmas movies.
He's the GOAT.
Going up against,
unless Kurt Russell gets another one.
Going up against Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Who wants to start here? I think I just did.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna do Santa Claus because I think it does encapsulate that, like, especially for kind of generations moving forward. Like a lot of families are different now. You may not be with your mom and dad that you were born into. You may have like, mixed family and stuff. So it deals a lot with those themes because that's kind of like the new normal for families. And Bernard, I got to give more points for my boy Bernard, the elf. What a great man.
He's put on a lot of weight.
Yes, he's changed. Yes.
They brought him out on Monday Night Raw to be a heavier set Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I don't think people didn't recognize who he was. Yeah.
I had no clue.
Because I let Wonderful Life slide for cultural purposes. Rudolph, I could too, but my personal bias is gonna have to shine through on it, so I say Santa Claus on it.
Fair enough. Anthony?
Yeah, Rudolph is super, super classic, but it feels aged. Where I feel like Santa Claus doesn't feel like it's 25 years old. I don't know, like it just doesn't feel that old. It feels like it could have been made the last 10 years. So yeah, I think just like entertainment value and aging process and all that. I'm gonna go with the Santa Claus and just that stop motion stuff is just it's tough.
It'll make you throw up if you watch it too closely. It's not good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Santa Claus.
All right, so Santa Claus. All right, so now we got. I agree with Santa Claus. I'm not disagreeing there.
Mm-hmm.
We got a movie that knocked out my movie, Jack Frost.
Oh, so now he's gonna hamstring it and watch.
Yep.
Or we got the original.
No reason to.
Grinch.
No reason to here.
1966.
Are we really having a discussion on this?
Anthony, go ahead.
Yeah, we don't even need to have a discussion on this. Like I already said, I wasn't a huge fan of Jack Frost, and Grinch is the best Christmas movie out of the 60s. By the way, you did choose, like, I'm really concerned about how you made these choices because as we think about honorable mentions and things like that, like Santa Claus Coming to Town is a really, really solid like stop motion movie back then too. Like there's definitely a few more.
These are all based off analytics and
it seems like you did a lot of
surveys. You did a lot of group surveys
around the country. So you got to blame society.
Well, yeah, the Grinch is it's James Earl Jones.
I'll go. I'm going to agree with that. Herbie.
Grinch, yeah, that's an easy one.
Now we got two of my favorites going head to head here, so this is going to be a tough one for me. We got Home Alone, or we got A Muppets Christmas Carol. I'm going to take this one, and it's a no-brainer for me. I love Home Alone. I really, really do, but I love The Muppets Christmas Carol so much more. And Tiny Tim, who did not die. Muppets all the way. Herbie, I'll let you go. Anthony's shaking his head, so let's see what you got here.
Home Alone had a budget of $18 million.
John Hughes
In 1990, it made $476 million internationally. Yeah. I gotta go with Home Alone. It's just for me. It's my personal classic, and it's just got a little everything in there. It's so well done. It's fun. It's got the humor.
Yeah, but does it have Kermit?
Doesn't have Kermit.
Does
No.
Bob Cratchit?
But I think of like just. I think the
They
success
had
of
mixed
it overall.
children. They were piglets and frogs and Michael Caine.
Go on a Muppets movie, you can see Muppets Treasure Island. There's a whole bunch of options. There's only one.
All right, Anthony, put the dagger in my heart here.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it would be illegal if I bred pigs and frogs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I go to jail for that. I think sometimes
like
your
Earfest.
opinions are definitely to get us to go viral and get this show like on the main stage. Because I told you Muppets should already been out, but Home Alone, John Hughes, the
goat,
like one of the goats.
I can't. I love the Muppets Christmas Carol. I absolutely love it.
It's
I have
Home
to watch it every
Alone.
year.
I can't believe this is a conversation.
I
always expect this is going to happen with us. It always happens with the three of us. I always feel like me and Herbie are always a little bit
because we're rational people, Am.
Yeah, we're definitely more rational. I mean, gosh, I can't even go on it. I gotta put myself on mute because it's just so funny that Home Alone doesn't sweep the ground.
Yeah.
You said it was a no-brainer, and I was like, yeah, of course it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. For the Muppets. Love the Muppets.
Home Alone, it's out of here. You're done.
Well, I can't. What would happen if Home Alone matched up with Friday After Next?
Friday After Next all the way.
I go Home Alone there, but
he saw Friday After Next in the theaters, so it's just that's the
Again, I just want to point out.
Anymore, yeah.
I wish I could show that. Look at this cast. You guys voted against that cast, so I just want to point that out.
It was too quick.
All right.
They're going to show the Muppets cast.
Can we not see Terry Crews in his underwear for the rest of this podcast?
Yeah, he had a porn addiction, by the way. I just want people to be aware of that.
He was also sexually harassed too. But
yeah, he's had quite the life.
Part of the Me Too.
Who, the kid from Christmas Carol?
All right, we got A Christmas Story going up
Christmas
against
Story. Whoops. Whoa.
Christmas Vacation. I got a portrait right there. Ant, you can start us.
Yeah, I think without really thinking about it, Christmas Vacation is in my top 5. I don't know where it fits, but it's just wholeheartedly dropped in there somewhere. And I made myself really clear that I think Christmas Story has moments, but I can't sit through the whole thing. I'd rather just watch those moments cut up on YouTube together. So Chevy Chase all the way.
Herbie?
She puts the cat food in the Jell-O.
She wraps her cat in.
She wrapped the cat.
I mean, Randy Quaid is everything in that movie,
it's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, I gotta go Christmas Vacation too.
Yeah, no brainer. Christmas Story. Please get off my bracket. You are out of here.
It's again, we like to honor that. Yes, it was a Christmas movie, and a lot of people like it. Mostly those people are old, but now
I don't even think it's an age thing. I just it's just too negative. The whole movie just says it's negative. Like, man, like growing up in that house, man, Christmas sucks. His dad's got a leg. As a, I don't know.
Not a lot of levity. Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Going up against Frosty the Snowman here. Herbie.
You have to go Frosty. In terms of a cartoon, I always think when I think of like a Christmas cartoon, I think of Frosty first and then Grinch very closely after that. But I gotta go Frosty on this one.
Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, you got the Frosty the Snowman song. I know the soundtrack is really good on, Nightmare Before Christmas, but I mean, Frosty is just classic. Like these are one of the ones where I would use the old "There is no Nightmare Before Christmas without Frosty" kind of thing. Like, it's an originator. It's so I definitely got to go Frosty on this. Nightmare Before Christmas is actually like, again, if we're talking
Very
movie
good.
quality wise, if we just get rid of the Christmas stuff, like it's very very good.
It's before
like,
Tim Burton kind of declined for me. It's like
Yeah.
right around that time
I
period.
think that was like his. Yeah. No, you don't think that's his peak?
It might have. He'd already done the Batman.
You had Batman Returns like within a year.
We'll have to
from
do
that, right? Edward Scissorhands, which also was a Christmas movie.
Well, so this is 1994. Didn't Tim Burton kind of go away for a while and didn't do anything?
Might have been right after that.
Like, I feel like there was a gap in time because the next thing I remember him doing is that weird Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie.
No, that was like
that was 05,
later, right?
That was 05, but I can't think of anything. Nothing's coming to mind in between for Tim Burton.
Well, he did James and the Giant Peach, which was still really good.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks, that's criminally underrated,
that's him?
I think. Yeah.
Wow.
But nothing like that late 80s, early 90s.
No.
All right, let's see here. We got
Dumbo was his last movie, Dan.
I never bothered with that at all. So Tim Burton, do better. Jingle All the Way, the holiday classic here.
Mm-hmm.
Or Charlie Brown. I'm gonna go first here, and woof, this is actually really a tough one for me. Sarging All the Way in theaters, loved it.
Always a theater factor with Dan.
Yeah, but Charlie Brown and the
moments.
It comes back to the tiny tree for me. It really does, and how long it's been around. I'm going Charlie Brown. Anthony, you're next.
Well, I try to knock Charlie Brown out in the first round. I think Herbie used this as an example with the Muppets on how there's other Muppets. There's a lot of Muppet movies, and I feel the same way about Charlie Brown. It's not like it's not a solo thing. There's so much Charlie Brown you can get, and I don't have Charlie Brown tattooed on me, but I do have Arnold Schwarzenegger tattooed on me.
See, for me, it's about being in the theaters. For you, it's about the tattoo.
I mean, the theater was like a one-time thing. This thing is on my back for the rest of my life. So
that's true.
Yeah, I got to go Jingle All the Way. I also think when you guys know my argument, it's rewatch value. It's definitely something that I could just stop and watch at any point, no matter what part of the movie it's in, and just pick up and watch it.
Herbie, you're the tiebreaker here. We got Charlie Brown or Jingle All the Way.
If this was a bracket to talk about like what are like American cultural Christmas things, I would say the Peanuts would be high up there. I feel like I always get a Peanut card. My parents both have Peanut whatevers on their trees and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where it's just like our parents' generation loved Peanuts and like it's just everywhere. But I think as a movie in itself, it's okay. I think the rewatchability though of Jingle All the Way, it makes a really good point. I do love Arnold, and I think let's bring some fresh blood. We have a lot of old goldies in this list, so we'll put Jingle All the Way in and see how she does.
Down with Dan. I love it.
Yeah, this is very disappointing here, but that's all right. I do like Jingle All the Way, so that's
we bent on It's a Wonderful Life, so
it's going all. I got a good feeling about that. I'm feeling really strong about it.
Cross the line with Peanuts.
We got Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, going up against Elf.
Oh man.
I think I just started the last one. Herbie, you ended it. You go first.
I got my hat and glasses for this and rub my eyes.
Oh, I don't feel like Ant in this because I prefer Home Alone 1. I used to prefer Home Alone 2, but I think 1 to me feels more like classic Christmas just because you're at your own house and all that stuff. So I don't feel quite as bad not having Home Alone 2 go forward. So I'm gonna have to go. Wait, what's the other movie? Why am I forgetting it? Elf. Yeah, definitely
if
Elf.
you can't even remember the other movie, it should disqualify.
I can. We've been talking about so many movies over the last hour and a half.
Yeah.
No, definitely Elf. Yeah, I feel like Home Alone's going to make a strong stand on its own, and Elf is just so classic now. I feel like it's so quoted all the time, and it's got its own. Yeah, it's got its own thing. That's kind of what Christmas movies are like, or the good ones. They take an essence of Christmas and they kind of do their own thing, and I think Elf is a good example.
All right, Anthony. I think I know where you're leaning here.
I mean, I have Rockefeller Center behind me, which
Yeah.
is the last scene of the movie. I mean,
Like two turtle doves.
the two turtle doves. It's so emotional.
What the heck else was that lady and the old lady there?
Duncan's Toy Chest. Oh, she was in. I was looking it up the other day.
God,
I'll find it as Ant thinks about it.
You know, Tim Curry.
Mm.
I mean, Tim Curry's in this.
The original.
A young Rob Schneider's in this.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, it's again, I think I can almost predict my bracket because of Home Alone 2 being my favorite Christmas movie. I think it's going to end up winning out against everything. I don't know. I have a really tough time against it. And I love Elf. So these are both top five, maybe top three for me. So it's a very hard decision for me. So I'm going to go Home Alone 2.
All right, as a tiebreaker, I guess I don't hate Home Alone 2. I mean, I did have Friday After Next over it.
Yeah, I already know it's gone.
So. Oh, Dan, she was in Angels of the Outfield.
Ah, she was the lady that the foster care.
Yes,
lady?
yeah, yep, the one who took care of them.
And for that,
I knew that was the movie you were thinking of. I was like, it has to be Angels in the Outfield.
And for that, we're gonna flip the script here. I'm going Home Alone 2.
Wow!
Whoa!
Got my boy through. Shout out to Macaulay Culkin.
That Angels in the Outfield reference just said, you know what? I knew this lady was in more stuff. We're gonna move her on.
Yeah. So I Married an Axe Murderer. Yeah, she's been in a lot of little things.
Did she? I think she passed away. I'm not sure. But yes, we will be doing baseball movies eventually. I don't know who because that's a whole nother.
Yeah.
You know. All right.
Hardball. Keanu Reeves.
Hardball.
It's actually very good, but no, Major League is my favorite.
Bull Durham's mine. We'll get to that another day. But we got It's a Wonderful Life, the number 1 seed, going up against the Santa Claus.
That's
everybody, I'm gonna go first because everybody knows where I stand. It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm gonna.
You know where I stand. This is the 33rd seed in a 32 seed bracket for me. So
you're going Santa
really
Claus.
Up to Herbie to save you here because It's a Wonderful Life is not wonderful at all to me.
Herbie, you gotta do the right thing.
I wish I could see the bracket right now. See the longevity.
No, you can't look forward. We have the GOAT of Christmas, Tim Allen.
When you're playing in the NCAA tournament during the game, you're not getting bracket.
You're not thinking, yeah, that's true.
The GOAT.
I think my wife would divorce me if I voted against Santa Claus because it is definitely one of her favorites.
That's
that and Krampus. I gotta go Santa Claus.
Extremely disappointing.
I have a personal affinity for it.
Ever.
I almost had like
seed.
my own Christmas adventure with that. Like I hated Santa Claus for a long time. Then I, grew to understand it and love it, just like Christmas.
You know what, Dan? If my grandmother was still alive and we had her here, I'm sure she would vote for.
No, Aunt, if your grandmother's grandmother was here, she'd be like, "Oh, Wonderful Life."
Yeah.
Or Gone with the Wind.
When that movie came out, my grandma's only like 22 years old or something like that.
My grandmother wasn't born yet when It's a Wonderful Life came out.
Crazy.
Oh yeah, because I think my grandma was born in 23, I want to say. So, yeah. All right.
My grandmother was born in like 48.
Watch
It's a Wonderful Life was
Man.
already like 2 decades old.
A youngin.
All right, so we got. Oh God, A Grinch, 1966,
Is this movie Home Alone?
or
No.
Home Alone. And the winner of this, keep in mind, we're entering the final four. So Santa Claus is the first movie into the final four. Winner of this is moving to the final four. I started last time. Who was the decision maker? It was Herbie. Herbie, you start this.
This is where I knew it would get tough. I'm now going subjective.
Oh
To
boy.
make these decisions. I've started to. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be impartial with it and think about what other people would like.
I couldn't do that because I noticed that I don't like a lot of what other people like.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I gotta go with Home Alone. It could be my number one. There's another one on this list still that could also be my number one. But I gotta go with Home Alone. I think it's just a modern good one.
I'll go next then. I can't disagree with that. As much as The Grinch is such a classic, it wasn't. Home Alone came out in 91.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see that when it was like new. I'm not making my decision off of when I saw it. I'm just saying it's probably meant more
Was it
to
in theater?
me.
Yeah, how old were you when you went to the theaters and saw Home Alone?
I was probably 7,
3.
maybe 6. Yeah, and I think maybe my aunt took me to that. I don't know. I don't remember. But
Now your
yeah, I'm going
horrible uncle.
Yeah, I'm going Home Alone. Anthony, were you gonna go Grinch?
I mean, so either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Home Alone is in that top 2 spot. Home Alone 1 and 2 are my 1 and 2. Sometimes even interchangeable. So I know I did say I think it's maybe a mood thing. I think Home Alone 1's just a little darker of a movie overall, just like with the language and stuff like that.
Buzz, your girlfriend. Woof.
Yeah. You know, being scared of the guy. I was scared of the guy, the neighbor. I forget his name now.
Oh yes, the neighbor.
Oh,
God,
so
he was in a bunch of other things too, and
yeah,
I can't.
you know what he was in, Dan? We just watched the other day. Christine, the
Yes.
Stephen King movie with the haunted car.
Oh
He
wow.
is the guy who sells the car to the protagonist.
Yes, Christine's a great movie. Weird.
That is a great movie.
I love me some.
You know
Stephen
who
King.
directed Christine? John Carpenter.
Oh really? That explains it.
It feels like it. That's the moment the first scene comes on, you go, "Oh, that's a John Carpenter." It's got the music. It's got like these cuts. Yeah, you'll rewatch it and you'll see. It's really good.
All right. So next
Christmas
movie. This was we got 2 more on the other side here. Gonna get 2 more to the final 4 here. We got
hard decisions.
Christmas Vacation. And this is where it's telling you where it's getting a little crazy here.
Each time you flash that poster, it looks like someone drew that from memory. Like they weren't looking at the picture.
Yeah. I love this. I'm glad I found it. Or Frosty the Snowman. Who won? I think
I went first.
Anthony. Yeah, you're gonna have to start this one.
So I think this is kind of like the last one we just did, where the classics, where they're like, I mean, what's Frost like 30 minutes? You know, like it's
very short. Yeah.
The classics,
perfect for elementary school kids, by the way.
Yeah. So like I love it, but I think the classics just can't stand up to those more modern ones. Are just they're longer and more entertaining. Christmas Vacation is a top 5 movie for me. So yeah.
Herbie.
Gotta go with Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, and I
Ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. He goes down a hill in a saucer, and it burns a hole in the saucer. That is comedy.
I had to say Randy Quaid kind of. That's where I found how funny he was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think I ever think about Randy Quaid again until like 6th grade, and he's in Independence Day.
Yeah.
In the words of my generation, up yo. It's like he's
living in Canada.
Yeah, he's done some sketchy things. Randy Quaid there.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Quaid's his brother.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, they couldn't be any more different. Not even in real life, but just like movies too. All right, we got Jingle All the Way. Again, pretty stacked.
Jingle All the Way got deep.
I'm surprised, actually.
Well, you got to think too.
Yeah.
This is like one of Phil Hartman's. This is one of Phil Hartman's last movies. If you think about that too, because I think this came out in '96. He gets killed in '98.
Yeah, so, Small Soldiers, I think, was his last movie.
Yeah. Or Home Alone 2.
I love Home Alone 2 has also gotten very far, much further than I thought.
I'll start this, and
poor Ant. He's got a tattoo of one person. The other movie's his favorite. He's gonna be a torn man.
Well, I'm gonna start this, and I am going with a movie that I didn't vote for in the last round against a movie I didn't vote for in the first round. I'm going Jingle All the Way. Ant, you're up next.
Yeah, this one isn't hard for me. I have the Terminator tattooed on me, not Arnold in this one. So I got to separate the character from the man. I love Jingle All the Way, but again, I think Home Alone is just it's a class. Home Alone 2 is just it's just up there as a classic Christmas movie. Again, it's my background, so you guys know I'm going to be really biased here.
Herbie, you got a big. This is huge because we're talking about the final four.
You can't put Jingle All the Way in the top 4 Christmas movies of all time.
I mean, this could be a Home Alone dominance if this movie's on.
I'm going Jingle All the Way. I gotta go Jingle All the Way. It could be a new modern classic. I know, Ant. We already got Home Alone in there. I feel bad having
Lucky we don't have
Home
Alone 3 and 4 and 5 and the new one in there too.
That's like putting you go into a tournament, you put the varsity team in and the JV team in, and they almost make the finals.
It's like Duke versus North Carolina.
That's true.
They're both there.
Remember we used to do that like in middle school, right? An A and a B team, and then they were like both really good, you know.
All right, here we go. We're in the final 4.
I gotta go to bed, guys.
Winner is going to the finals. The Santa Claus.
Or
where is it? It's further down. Home Alone, the original. Who wants to start this?
Herbie went last.
Yeah.
All right, Herbie, it's your. This is a big deal here.
This is totally the objective what represents Christmas more versus what movie I hold dear more. And I just have to decide which I think is more important at this point. I'm glad that Santa Claus got this far, but I do have to give it to Home Alone. For me personally, it is the Christmas movie now that I always watch.
I think it's going to be straight across the board. I got Home Alone.
Well, you guys already pushed it through, but I guess I'll elaborate for a second. So Santa Claus is in my top 5, right? So I pretty much have given my top 5 now at this point. And I like how I didn't think of it that way until Herbie just said it, where it's like one is actually just strictly a Christmas movie, as in it's about Santa, and the other one is a movie that takes place during Christmas. But you know, this is like Home Alone 2 was the Patriots, and Home Alone is Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I can't go wrong. I'm happy either way. So I'm gonna just go with you guys and get the clean sweep and have Home Alone move on to the finals.
Yeah.
For the record, if it comes down to the Bucks and Patriots, I am not happy either way. I just want that to be known.
See,
Tom Brady.
either way, so it really works.
If
out.
it
I
hurt
was
to lose
really
him.
trying to get Home Alone versus Home Alone 2 in that final.
All right, let's
Yeah, I was
Harvey?
gonna say I think too, like Home Alone was for me the first movie where I realized that a Christmas movie doesn't have to just be about like Christmassy things. You know what I mean? Like it could be about like Jingle All the Way, like trying to get your toy for a kid, or it could be about like you're just trying to realize your family is important and that you shouldn't have wished them away and all that stuff. So I don't know, it's kind of that first entry into that where you're like, oh, it doesn't have to be about like Santa or Frosty or like the things that it could be
I mean, a lot of these,
just a
everybody
family
starts
story.
off. They start off selfish, and then they learn the meanings
Yeah.
of Christmas in a way.
Oh,
Um,
like a movie from 150 years ago.
yes, but that was even bigger than Christmas. That was his whole
Yeah.
life and everything he's given
Life
back,
depended on
and they all cared about him.
You don't think
God,
Kevin McAllister was in mortal danger? It was
I mean,
his life or
yeah.
death.
Mortal.
If he in real life he's dead, or they
Yeah.
kidnap him or something. I mean,
Well, in
but
2021, he picks up his cell phone and calls his mom.
Yeah.
yeah, game
Yeah.
over.
There's a great
Oh,
article with like an emergency room surgeon, and he talks about like all the injuries they would have sustained throughout the movie. It's really
I
good.
mean,
I'll
he
have to find it.
electrocutes him,
So
and
you know what's
you can see the
really,
skeleton.
really cool? I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but Home Alone was on Freeform the other day. And do you remember when we were younger, VH1 used to have pop-up video where like
Yes.
they would play a video and then they would like pop up with a fact during the video?
Oh yeah.
Well, on Freeform, every time they get hit, it pops up what their injury would be.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow.
It's really cool. I ended up only seeing like one or two because I was getting ready to go do something. But I now I have to go check my TV guide, showing my age, like the guide on TV.
The paper one. The
I'm
one
not
you
gonna
keep
open
on
up
the
the TV
toilet.
guide. and
Oh
get-
God,
like,
I can't believe I can't even
like-
believe TV Guide was like a thing.
like It's a Wonderful Life, you know.
Oh God,
But
greatest movie.
I am gonna look and see if and you guys should too. If it's on Freeform, just like throw it on your DVR, fast forward the commercials, and like get a kick out of when they do announce the the injuries as they happen. That's why part 2, the bricks off the roof are a pretty epic scene. Like that's murder. He's definitely a murderer.
He's dead. All right, now we got Christmas Vacation going up against winner goes to the finals. Jingle All the Way.
This is ridiculous.
It's strange.
Well,
It's like a.
Am I
1 versus
am I
16.
starting this? Is my turn to start it? I
This
think
should
it
be a
is.
clean sweep.
So here's the thing. Herbie got me thinking as we're doing this.
Oh no, in a bad way or a good way?
It is. You sort of do learn a lesson in Vacation. But Arnold Schwarzenegger's character really does learn a lesson about the importance of his family. And that's really what it comes down to, right? Learning a lesson. The meaning of Christmas. Being a better father, being a better friend, being a better husband. And for that, Jingle All the Way.
Anthony's trying not to lose himself. He was literally fading like the ghost of Christmas past. He was like this. Like...
Yeah, well, Herbie, you go next. Anthony, you can be the tiebreaker here.
Oh, that's good. I still have to say Christmas Vacation. I do relate to it the most. Like all that, it covers all the activities that you do. And it probably is Animal House is also really good. One of the best national.
Oh, yes, that's probably my favorite.
It's up there.
National Lampoons, yeah.
But yeah, it's just, and then the whole like dinner night, like my family, my father's side always does a dinner night thing like that, and it always is a mess, like people show up late or the weather's bad or whatever, it's just like feels so real. It's so relatable. And Jingle All the Way, I'm surprised it's gone this far. I want to give it
one
props.
vote away from getting to the finals.
But Christmas Vacation, no, it shouldn't be in the finals. Christmas Vacation, I would approve of in the finals.
All right, Anthony, tiebreaker here.
I like Jingle All the Way so much, and I really wish I didn't vote it this far ahead. If I knew you guys were going to start leaning these ways, I definitely would have got this thing picked out earlier. Yeah, it can't. It can't go to the finals. Like it can't. Like it doesn't even make sense.
He's Turbo Man.
No, it doesn't.
Turbo Man.
No, nope. It's you're talking. I view Jingle All the Way as entertaining, good rewatch value. But in my opinion, like far from classic. Christmas Vacation is the Christmas movie of the 80s. Jingle All the Way probably doesn't even fall in like the top 5 Christmas movies of the 90s. So
made the final 4 though. It made the final 4.
Yeah, you guys are trolling me trying to get rid of Home Alone 2. So yeah, you got to, and I think a lot of people, even if they didn't do a bracket, if you just ask like what's the top like 2 Christmas movies, I think you have a lot of people say Christmas Vacation.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The time has come for the finals. What is the greatest Christmas movie of all time? From Let Freedom Ring here, we have Home Alone going up against. No, it didn't make it.
Whoa!
Jingle All the Way did not make it. We apologize. Christmas Vacation.
Friday After Next.
Again, Statcast. Okay.
There's A Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life is the greatest, but that's okay. Didn't win. I don't want. I just started, so this is the finals. I'll be the potential tiebreaker here. Herbie, you can go first.
This is where I go back to, trying to think about what is a good movie, but also really encompasses Christmas. And I think Home Alone is the better movie, but I don't think that it quite encompasses Christmas as much as Christmas Vacation does. And Christmas Vacation is a good movie too. Not as good as Home Alone, but it's more about Christmas. So it edges out Home Alone in that respect. So I do have to do Christmas Vacation. I think it covers more ground than Home Alone does.
Okay.
Just all slightly, right. Though. Very slightly. Not a lot. I just want to be on the record. I don't think it's a lot, but Christmas Vacation by a hair.
All right, Anthony.
I would agree with the sentiment of it being more of a Christmas movie. I mean, Christmas Vacation, it's Christmas is in the name, right? So, all encompassing, like 100% a Christmas movie. But my decisions have always been based off of rewatch value, purely rewatch value and entertainment for myself, and being able to just kind of throw it on whenever at any part of the movie. Christmas Vacation, I still feel like I have to watch beginning to end. I feel like I can't cut it off early, and I can't start it in the middle. Like I have to sit down and watch the whole thing. It is hilarious. But I got to go Home Alone. Just I think my age might play a factor in this, just being slightly younger, meaning that I didn't get to watch Christmas Vacation or really even appreciate it until I was honestly, like, if you had this conversation with me at 15, we probably wouldn't even be like Christmas Vacation wouldn't even be in my top 10. It was really my 20s that brought that to the forefront for me, where I could really, really appreciate it. Where Home Alone's just always been there, right? It's just been a staple in my yearly thing, much like It's a Wonderful Life is for Dan. So there's an emotional attachment there, with Home Alone 2 being my favorite movie, and this being, it's so close. It's, like I said, it's more of a mood thing. It's 1A, 1B. So, Dan, you got to determine what's the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
And does the winner get a year's certificate to Jelly of the Month Club?
Yeah, we'll send it to Macaulay Culkin directly because I'm about to drop this.
Oh
Here.
no!
When we talk about Christmas, I don't think Christmas in the title has to be the defining whether it's a Christmas movie or not. I think in the end, it's about learning a lesson. And Kevin's mom, they all come together. They're all together at the end. They realize how much she actually cares about her son. One thing we didn't even talk about,
John
John
Candy.
Candy is in the
Yep.
movie. True story.
Kenosha Kickers.
Kenosha Kickers, yeah.
John Candy's
Poka, poka,
daughter,
poka.
she did. She posted on Instagram my nephew's costume as Uncle Buck. So we love
Oh,
John
that's awesome.
Candy in this family. But yeah, she learns her lesson. Does she repeat the lesson that she learned, or a year later?
No,
Sure,
yeah,
she messed
No,
up
she
again.
didn't. She didn't though, because she checked for everyone.
Yep.
They
Well,
I
checked.
was there.
They got to the airport. She
still
did her
forgot him.
job.
You know,
She made
he's
up for it.
still alone. So I will say that, but I
Because
do think she learns.
he had to put his batteries in the Talk Boy.
Yep. Blame Talkboy FX Plus.
Still not good. But she learns her lesson. Not only that, but John Candy, Spirit of Christmas, comes in to save the day too. So for that, I am going with Home Alone. And Home
I can
Alone
accept that.
takes the #1 Christmas movie of all time. And I gotta say, this cast was pretty stacked.
John
Looking
Hughes.
back.
That's pretty close to, like, I pulled up some list earlier in the day. Like, Esquire had a list, and they had Christmas Vacation at #2 and Home Alone at 4 or 5 or something. So they were pretty
Really?
close. Wonderful
But they
Life
have,
was #1.
yes, because it is, maybe not by Let Freedom Ring standards. But I don't think you can really top that movie. And I apologize. Home Alone came out in 1990. I probably did not
Yeah,
see that in
1990.
theaters, to be honest.
I definitely did not. I saw the second one in theaters for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember if I saw that or not.
I
But
can't. So like, I can't remember not having a Christmas without Home Alone. Because you figure I was 3. I was born in '87. So like, from the time I can remember, I watched Home Alone every single Christmas.
oh yeah, it's been a I'm so you know what I'm thinking. I probably saw it on probably like VHS, like the year it probably like came out on VHS.
Mm.
VHS was a little bit different back then. I think I don't remember I don't know if the movies came out right away, but I probably
I think it
saw
took
it
a
on
while.
VHS. Yeah, for like the next Christmas is
I
probably
mean,
when I first saw it.
especially across all movie genres, the cologne on the face instead of aftershave
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
is, I mean, talk about iconic. That is, yeah. I mean, if you do that, everyone knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I mean, poor Macaulay Culkin. I mean, that was pretty much it for him. I mean, he did some other movies, but he was,
You think he did My Girl right around then?
yeah. When you're a child actor,
Mm.
like that
Richie
is
Rich.
almost
He
like,
did Richie Rich.
oh, is
He's
he?
he does a lot of stuff nowadays, like just like guerrilla video stuff. Like he's on Red Letter Media a lot, which is a bunch of guys from the Wisconsin area
He's
that do
like
movie
clean now too.
reviews.
Like he's not on drugs and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He
I
goes
just
by
think
Mac.
being a child actor though almost feels like the kiss of death if you want to be an actor in your adult life.
Yeah.
It's very
Yes.
rare. Like Drew Barrymore is one of the only ones that even come off the top of my head that I can think of.
I think Elijah Wood.
Was he a child?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he was.
He was in a movie with Macaulay Culkin, Good Son.
But the problem is everybody sees you as a child for the rest of
Mm.
your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless some can snap out of it and some can't. Like it's almost like if that's really what you want for a career, it's almost like the kiss of death there. So
I pulled up a list of Christmas adjacent movies or like that take place around Christmas time. Besides Die Hard, Green Book apparently, and I do remember that it takes place kind of around the Christmas holidays. Godfather has some stuff around Christmas. Castaway.
Godfather
Castaway
is
is Christmas Eve.
definitely a better Christmas movie than It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned Batman Returns. We didn't mention Edward Scissorhands. Takes place mostly around Christmas.
The Green Book, though, it's literally the last scene of the movie.
Yeah. Another Arnold movie, End of Days, takes place around Christmas. You've Got Mail, Gremlins.
Yes,
Trading Places is around Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh,
New Year's
yes,
time.
that's big. And New Year's that touches upon.
Die Hard 2, right, is also around Christmas. Sleepless in Seattle. There's actually a lot of movies that take place
around
Lethal
Christmas.
Weapon has
I said
some
Lethal
stuff
Weapon.
around Christmas.
So why does Die Hard get all the credit for a Christmas movie if there are so many Christmas movies that are like
I don't know.
And
Little
this
Woman.
I feel like that. I have to say, I feel like that debate is more recent. Like I don't remember
Just
that debate.
Friends.
Oh yes, Just Friends, big time. Yeah,
that
that's
is
a
a
big-
Christmas movie for sure.
that's
He
Christmas
comes back in town for Christmas. So
Yeah. I do have to say the market, I know we're all like just talking tangential stuff, but like the market is flooded with bad rom-com Christmas movies.
it's like slasher films in the 80s.
So it's just oversaturated. Like
Love Actually.
We watch one with my mom every year. We just pick a random one based on the description. It's always these actors you never know, or like one that like was in a reality show or something. And we watched
the
one
Hallmark
about it.
Channel's now just made a whole network about it.
They would just pump them out. We saw one about like an advent calendar where they were like magical and things would happen. I don't even remember. But
Last Christmas was like the most recent rom-com one I watched, which I think was kind of big, or I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
It came out like 2 years ago, and I think that was like the last I wouldn't say like theater quality movie, but like they try to build it as that. It wasn't,
Did you say Love Actually?
Yeah, Love Actually. Yep.
Yeah, that had Rick Grimes.
Yeah, that's another one.
I've never seen it, but I somehow know the ending because I think
who it didn't have.
GIF.
It didn't have Busta Rhymes.
Yes.
And if we could get Busta Rhymes in a Christmas movie saying "Merry Christmas, mother effer,"
gold.
It would be the best Christmas movie of all time, much like Halloween Resurrection is the greatest Halloween movie of all time.
Busta Rhymes at this point, he's got to be in his 50s, 60s.
He's old. He's huge. He got very large, muscle-wise.
Yep.
So did Dr. Dre for a while, but then he almost had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, so those guys could easily fight Michael Myers nowadays. So.
Yeah. Well, they're still 10 years younger.
So to mix in, because we've done so many shows together now, my question to you guys is, can Jason and Michael Myers beat Kevin McAllister?
How much time does Kevin have to prepare?
Yeah.
He has more. So he had more time in the second one than the first one, right? Because he got to go to the house and set up everything and then go find them. So yes, he has to go. He baits them into his traps.
He has like a full day.
Yeah, he got a full day.
But you can't. Michael and Jason, they don't want money. The Wet Bandits were trying to steal. So
but in
the motivation factor isn't as high.
Second one, they wanted to kill him though.
That's true.
But they're not serial killers though. They're not.
He had a gun on him. How do we know he didn't kill anyone?
Yeah, and it had all the goo on it. He couldn't pull the trigger.
He couldn't shoot it.
But Michael and
Jason shoot him. No, he said shoot her.
Shoot him.
When the girl came, when the lady, the bird lady came out, they were gonna kill her.
Yeah, pigeon woman.
They're murderers. They're legit murderers.
But not serial killers.
No,
that'd be the only person they ever killed. I mean, Michael, that's like he does that sleepwalking.
That's true. It depends on which Michael and Jason we're talking about. If we're talking about Jason from part two,
that damn
he would easily be bested by Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, sure. And
he was
then
still messed up there.
And then 6-year-old Michael Myers.
6-year-old Mike, easily. I did see something where it was like a picture of Kevin McAllister and a picture of the Predator, and it was like who would win, and people were like saying like, well, Kevin's gonna have a little bit of a head start, if they just dropped him in the jungle together, it wouldn't be like who's got home court advantage.
Yeah, if you give Kevin home court advantage where he could take all his body heat off and cover himself with
chicken feathers,
he got it. He might get the win.
He cover himself with tinsel so like reflect. He looks invisible.
That might be some kind of like a cartoon someone can make, but honestly, yeah, the difference between the wet bandits and a Michael Myers and a Jason is they were out for something. Jason and Michael, they're not out for anything except killing people for whatever reason they want. But anyways, that's gonna do it. We have our number one here because I know the three of us go on tangents all night. But Home Alone is the Let Freedom Ring, number one Christmas movie of all time. We'll have to see what we do for a Christmas episode next year. But
Christmas songs.
That could be, yes, because we have to come up with some theme. And hopefully next Halloween we're reviewing Halloween Ends. So there'll be something for Halloween, no problem. But everybody out there, tomorrow we're going to have Pleasure Pete Mankara in studio. So be on the lookout for that episode. But until next time, let freedom ring and have a happy holidays.
Booyah.